Flipkart, Snapdeal, Ola, Paytm and Zomato. Yes, we are talking about some of India's top startups, but this time not because of their success stories. India's startup biggies are mostly all boys club with hardly any gender balance at the top. So what are the factors that deter women from venturing out on their own?
Career break, funding issues, or even finding the right role model. Those are some of the issues that women entrepreneurs face while starting out. And that's what we're looking at on the show today. That and also how women are marking their presence in a world largely dominated by men. From breaking gender stereotypes by using a mere Twitter handle to this story where women co-founders are leading their startups from the front.
My advice to women entrepreneurs would be to forget that you are a woman. That's not even important. The fact is that, if you have a business idea which you think can be big, then work on executing that.
And Swati has walked the talk. A mathematics and economic graduate from the London School of Economics, she was working with Goldman Sachs, one of the world's leading investment banking firms in London, for 5 years now. She says she thought she was content with her job and also doing pretty well for herself. But the cubicle-bound life wasn't her calling. In 2010, Swati decided to quit her job. She and her husband took the startup plunge, starting Pouring Pounds, a cashback venture in the UK in 2011. Having worked with teams dominated by men in Goldman's, Swati says she was aware of the huge gender imbalance that exists in the entrepreneurship space all over the world, but was confident she could ride on what she believed was her million-dollar idea.
I started off at Goldman, which is a very heavily male-dominated environment, and my team was always all men. I was always the only woman in the team, I think that very soon got me used to the whole environment, and I've never let it bother me. I actually don't see what the big issue is, because for us as entrepreneurs, the decision to go into a certain business and to start a business is driven by what we think the potential of that business is. How scalable is it? How profitable can it be? And I think that is the most important thing to think about, whether you feel that your skill set aligns well with the business that you want to do.
The booming e-commerce space in India brought Swati and her husband Rohan back home, and in mid-2013 they launched the Indian version of Pouring Pounds as cashkaro.com. An online business, a cashback website, Cashkaro works with the top e-commerce players like Amazon, Paytm, Snapdeal, ShopClues to give cashback on your online shopping. Swati says while women entrepreneurs across the globe face their own set of challenges, in India, other hurdles can make things a little tougher. Safety and long working hours among them. Young women, she says, often have to work long and hard on convincing their families.
The challenges are similar, that you need to have a good team, you need to drive ROI on what you are spending. However, in India, I am more conscious of the safety factor. So I don't I think women have to be more cognizant of where they work, where we go for events, what we share online. I think that is a little different. And I think more families are supportive of women working longer hours abroad versus India. So I think that kind of difference is there.
India, the world's fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world, sees few women founders. In fact, India is ranked in the bottom 3 of the 32 countries surveyed for the Global Women Entrepreneur Leader Scorecard 2015, with an overall score of 17 out of 100. Gender stereotypes exist not only on the lines of whether a woman can successfully manage and run a startup, but also at the kinds of fields women should venture out into. Online, tech, e-commerce are claimed to be a man's world, says NASSCOM expert Sangeeta Gupta.
If you go back and see even in the IITs in India, right, the percentage of women that were part of those batches was whatever, 5%, 6%, right? And that is why they would probably not see that many women tech CEOs today. And I think today you're seeing far more women entering the technology world. Women entrepreneurship in India, particularly in the technology sector that we represent, is still at a very nascent stage. Our program from 10,000 startups in the report that we did showed that there are roughly about 8% of co-founders, women co-founders in the startup space. Now that is a very low number, but I think when we compare our data over a 2-year period, we think that data has almost doubled. So early days, but we are seeing growth.
While immense support came from her partner and family, Swati says entrepreneurship in itself is a tough space to be in. In her words, you might be a woman entrepreneur, but you will still have to figure out what's home for dinner. And Sabina Chopra shares that thought. A mother of two, Sabina took a career break of 5 years before she co-founded the online travel portal Yatra.com along with her male co-partners Dhruv Shringi and Manish Amin. She had been working with Japan Airlines for 5 years before she quit the job for her family. Later, when she decided to go back to work in the same organization, she had to convince many she could balance work and home.
I had to join back as an entry level because they did not believe that I could, I had two babies, whether I would be focused enough to get back into it. And that time it was still that scenario that why spend training, a woman, she was going to leave anyway. And frankly speaking, I proved them at that time because I left, after all that training which they sent me to Japan, I left. But I said, okay, I've come back again. And yes, I needed that break. It's not a break, but I think I put my family on topmost of my career. And I said, career, yes, I wanted to happen, but right now it was family at that time. And they said, okay, at that stage computers happened. So I said, okay, I will learn. So I used to send my children to school, go to NIIT, learn computers, come back, go to office and come back. So what I see right now, and I see women who have joined us in the last 7 to 8 years are very focused on their career. Extremely focused on their career, and that it's more to do with society, not the way the companies are functioning right now, but more to do with our parents, more to do with our husbands, more to do with today's society. I think society today understands, but both partners have to contribute to running a house.
When it comes to opportunities for women, India is not just at the bottom for entrepreneurs. In India, only a mere 4% of women are CEOs and a mere 9% are board members at various organizations. Clearly, women excelling in technology and leading top corporates are an exception and not the norm. Moving on is the story of Karya, a startup founded by Nidhi Agarwal. She of course faced all the initial challenges of starting up. But in addition to that is the story of her 113 odd investor pitches that she had to make before the startup finally got funded. Take a look.
113. That's the number of investor pitches 34-year-old Nidhi Agarwal has made since last year for her venture. Many entrepreneurs will identify with Nidhi's struggle of raising money to woo investors, but she believes also getting in the way was the fact that she is a woman.
I was not born or brought up in a family environment which differentiated between men and women, right? We were not granted opportunities on the basis of gender. But yeah, it's interesting because I do believe that there are varied perspectives, and yes, clearly from people who have perhaps not seen women in the, let's say, CEO position, they're a little bit surprised sometimes and even unrelenting. And yeah, I mean, just given the fact that there are such few women co-founders or founders or entrepreneurs, that the entire question of what if you start your family tomorrow has definitely been asked. I wouldn't deny that.
An MBA graduate from Kellogg School of Management in the US, Nidhi had been working with top corporates like Bain & Company, Bharti Airtel and KPMG before she decided to start up. So after working for over a decade as a consultant, marketing analyst and a business strategist, she finally took the daring step and founded Karya.com, an online brand of western wear for Indian working women.
Idea of Karya came to me because of some personal experiences, right? Like not being able to find something as simple as a basic white shirt was such a large problem that I wondered if I was the only one or if there were other women who felt similarly. And like a typical consultant, I surveyed electronically some 250 odd women, and a whopping 70-80% of them actually identified with the exact same problem areas, which were fit, femininity and functionality.
After the odd 113 pitches she had made for her startup, Nidhi understood that simply a strong team and a good idea would not suffice. She had to convince the investors that she could give it her all and lead the startup from the front.
If you're asking me whether I was asked what if I start a family tomorrow, yes, absolutely, I was asked that question, and my only response to that is as follows. If someone's concerned about me starting a family and taking time off, then they probably have to guarantee to me that any male founder, co-founder would actually not have any health issues which would expect him to take 2 months, 6 weeks, 10 days, 15 days off. So from that point of view, again, like I said, to my mind, there is really no difference, right? I would in fact expect, the father of the child also to take some time off to help the mother with the newborn, right? So I didn't see any difference there, honestly, and it would have to come with the guarantee that a guy founder would actually not fall sick for 2 months.
So did that reaction, the answer of yours really help, or did it?
Yeah, well, I think they saw the humor in it. I think they saw the intention with which I was saying it, and I think they're all very evolved investors, so they exactly know. And women entrepreneurs are not few and far between anymore, so they all see it.
NASSCOM Vice President Sangeeta Gupta says one of the main issues women entrepreneurs face at this stage is the lack of role models. The startup space can be an all-boys club, and women are often left out.
The barriers probably for entrepreneurs are the same, right? Whether it is about having the right idea, building the right team, getting the right funding, getting the right positioning. I think some of those barriers are common whether you are a woman or a male entrepreneur. You need more people who will believe that women can be successful. So Anandan is a perfect example where he's going out and investing in startups that have a woman co-founder. So I think if we have more champions like these, you will make it easier for the woman who's thinking about it and not taking that plunge to go out and do it.
After a one-year-long struggle, Nidhi bagged an investment from the chairman of Tata Group, Ratan Tata. She knew this was a yes that mattered a lot and one that could probably give a great kickstart for her venture. The year gone by has been a mix of highs and lows for young CEOs, but she says there has been a lot of learning from every investor pitching she'd had over the year. With Simarpreet Sembi and camera person Tom Joseph, Sharon Alex, NDTV.
It's time for us now to flip into a short break. On the other side, Ankita Sinha from Mumbai is back with more.